I don't know if I'm in the right spot in the table or not. On this episode of By the Wayside, there might be some costume changes. We're going to have lots of fun. Don't go anywhere. Awesome. I'm keeping that in, by the way.
Okay.
Welcome back to this episode of By the Wayside. I, of course, am your host, Jordan Middlebrook. And like I teased at the very beginning of the episode, I have with me today, and I wrote it down to absolutely make sure that I get everything correct. Founder and CEO of Pink Dreams, Jennifer Ettinger, is with me today. Thank you, Jen, for taking the time and spending it with me.
Of course. You know I love reconnecting with you, Jordan.
You and I have a history of working together in various different ways. And it's so awesome that now we're at this stage where you could be on my show.
Yes.
But we've done so many different things in conjunction with past television work and even public relations work, which we will, of course, talk about on this episode of By the Wayside.
I'm excited.
Awesome. I had mentioned Pink Dreams, Inc. So, Jen, what is Pink Dreams, Inc. and what sets it apart from other public relations companies?
Great question.
Oh, thank you. I like that.
So Pink Dreams, Inc. is a social PR company. We connect people, brands, and organizations through the power of holistic PR.
And that's the thing that I really want to touch on. The word holistic is not something that you see everywhere in relation to public relations. Well, that was weird. In relation to public relations.
Yes.
So what makes it so different?
So way back when, as you know, we're going to talk about like holistic well-being and how that's connected into my life. At that same point, I learned costume change. I learned that there was such a principle as holistic leadership. And from my own experiences, I had experiences like The Devil Wears Prada, where you definitely don't want to be treated.
Yeah.
And whether it was intuitive or not, I realized from that point on in my life, I would never want to treat anyone the way I was treated.
Yeah.
And I had a sensitivity to that. So I started to research consciously and unconsciously, shall I say? I'm going to explain that. Holistic leadership. So consciously, I found mentors that really inspired me, who taught me to think outside of myself. And then unconsciously, just that genuine nature then of drawing to people who were good people, who inspired me, who were confident, who were not competitive in a negative way.
It's interesting. There really is a lot to unpack in that, because I've been a part of that. Journey, I feel is the wrong word, but I've been a part of that holistic package where I've worked for you. And one of the things that people ask me, they say, well, how do you, what is it that you're doing? You have this is going to sound, it's a little self-serving in a way, but you have such a low following. You don't have a lot of follower counts. And I say to them, when I've worked with Jen and when I've worked with Pink Dreams, Inc., it was never about numbers. It was about honesty. It was about what I'm doing is genuine.
Yes.
And that was the important thing.
Yes. And I'm glad you're bringing that up, because if I'm on a pedestal ever speaking from a podium, I'm like, it's not about your numbers, because we both know I could go grab my phone right now. I could find a service who will say, I'll get you 10,000 followers by the end of the week. To me, that's hurting your identity. It's sad that we have to reach for those tools to make ourselves have self-worth.
Yeah.
I'd rather take it slow and steady, build a genuine and passionate audience, even if it's what we call a nano or micro creator. Those are smaller creator counts. They're equally of value because they have genuine community, genuine passion, genuine interest. So that's the way that I choose to guide my agency and also our clientele.
I think that's extremely important, because while on a bad day, getting a like on something that I do is important. It helps with my ego. It helps a little bit with the work that I've put in and my own self-worth in terms of, well, I tried to be funny and no one really liked it. But once I see that, I go, oh, okay, someone did like it. At least I've made an impact on someone's day in some way, shape, or form. But when you talk about, you personally seem to be able to separate the number from the person. And I think that's really important, because individuals in today's society, I believe, are discouraged by things like that. Not what you're doing, but the fact that they'll look at their follower count and they'll go, well, I've got 62 followers. And then someone else has got, say, 10,000 followers, but it's not about it is literally not about the follower count, because those 62 people are people that you've made an impact on.
Yes.
It's their circle, their community of people. And then Pink Dreams Inc. takes their community and creates a wider community. So
Yes.
it's like a
The ripple
giant
effect.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is a family. And I always like to say, be aware, but don't compare.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's like always on my heart. Be aware, but don't compare. I remind myself of that every day too. If I'm feeling conflict or pushed or pulled in different ways, just stay in my lane. Be aware, but don't compare. And I think that from a client perspective, sure, do clients want big numbers to present in boardrooms?
Yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of pressure on clients. However, when we peel back the curtain, as I say, there's a front stage and a backstage. The front stage is all the creativity we see on various platforms of creators of all sizes.
Yeah.
The backstage is where we go in deep and look to see, are there bot following? Are there targeted followers? And so when I'm in conversation with clients, I can say, look, I could get you vanity numbers, but I won't do that. I want to get you sound numbers.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you could have this great inflated number, and then you wonder, but where's the conversion? Like, we've got this great number. Why are we not seeing X happening?
Yeah.
We've got this great number. Where's the disconnect? The disconnect is in the back end of those accounts.
Yeah.
See how it's full circle?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because people don't think like that.
No.
They always think, I'm not saying they, what I mean is the person that looks at the account, like just like a genuine follower,
Yes.
or a person that happens across this account, they go, they've got 100,000 followers. They must be important, or they must have something to say. But
Right.
do a little bit of research. What's beyond that? And that's what you're saying is,
Yes.
take that extra step and see, like, are these genuine numbers, or are they just bot inflated numbers? Now, I don't necessarily know the deal on how that works, but
there are paid services that can do that. And unfortunately, they're positioned usually from a position of fear. And that's a different type of leadership. So it's the fear that you're missing out. It's a fear that you're not being seen, but we can correct that for you.
Yeah.
You can buy this and you can, make yourself prominent. And to me, that's just namaste. Everyone has to do what they need to do. To me, it's crippling to your self-worth.
Yeah.
That I think if you put the effort in, you stay in your lane, you're consistent, you're going to see the end result. You're going to find those people that resonate with you.
Yeah.
It's just magic that happens when that occurs. And it's building a foundation, right? In construction, if we build a house on cards, it's going to collapse. And so that's how I utilize and look at those tools. It's not perhaps the best way of practicing.
Yeah.
If you really do want to grow into something as a larger brand, because anyone with that knowledge of understanding what to look for can peel back that backstage and find that you've
the faults.
made.
Yeah. I always thought that the idea of Pink Dreams Inc. was such a cool thing, because I have been involved in it in certain steps over the last couple of years.
We love having you, Jordan.
Thank you very much. And I love being a part of it. I always thought that I've always considered myself to be an original and a very creative person. So to see that reflected in being asked to do something, like working for like some of your clients and helping to propel their work out, has always been so much fun, and it's always a blast. I absolutely love doing it. You've answered so many things in the first question, Jen. You answered that. Let's just go straight to number 3. If somebody goes to the website, Pink Dreams is literally an acronym for this list of tenets.
Yes.
It's not just 2 words slapped together to create something. Do you know what all of them are off the top of your head?
Yes, I do.
Let's hear it.
I love that you're asking me that, because everyone thinks it's just because of the love of pink, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more depth to it. I will start with the color though.
Okay.
So when I chose this color intuitively, meaning just I was drawn to it, I didn't know when I was in the health and fitness end of things where this all started. This is the sister color to love and the color for women in weight loss. And I did have no idea. I found it in a color psychology book many years later.
Oh, interesting.
So I was drawn to that without even realizing. And so Pink Dreams, I created this Pink Dreams. I love having dreams. I love the color pink. And then I'm like, let's make this more. So pink is your purpose, your passion. I always say, love what you do and do what you love.
Yeah.
I never complain about work. Do I get stressed about work? Yes.
There's a difference. Yeah.
Yes. I'm just going to clarify. I is integrity. And that's part of this holistic leadership that we can talk about, that having morals and ethics, it doesn't mean I'm holier than thou or better than anyone. I'm taking responsibility for my actions. I'm going to look consciously at what I need to do and to improve myself. And when I am working alongside of my team members, our amazing community, I want to know who you are.
Yeah.
I want to go beyond your numbers. I want to go beyond your bio. I want to really understand who you are.
Yeah.
So that's the I, living with integrity. N is being in the news in a positive way. K is kindness karma.
Yeah.
I really believe kindness is king, queen. D is determination. Got to be a determined. You know, I've been working now for over 22 years as an entrepreneur, and there's been times where it's been really hard. R is honoring your reputation, right? That's the most golden ticket that you have. And there are times where it's going to become, you know, under scrutiny.
Yeah.
And so it's going back to your core values and holding on to that, speaking your truth in a way that's empathetic to others. E is defining your own level of excellence. Remember I said, be aware, don't compare?
Interesting, yeah.
What does that look like to you? Define your level. What makes you excited to get up in the morning and work your business? A is thinking like an athlete. So when you're down on the ground, and we all have those days, that you've got to get to that finish line. So it's your mindset. Your M is your mindset and your mantras. Support yourself with positive thinking equals Pink Dream success. It's a mouthful.
Now, how many times has someone asked you, like, what does Pink Dreams mean? You're like, well,
hang on.
Here we go. All right. The one thing that stood out to me the most in all of those letters that represent words is kindness. What is it about kindness that sticks out the most in all of Pink Dreams, Inc.?
Kindness creates magic, as I shared that word before. Like, kindness can move mountains. Smiling, holding a door, saying thank you, you're welcome, writing a thank you card. That's not old school. That's etiquette. That we've lost that in this society. We've lost core values of being polite and respectful. You have a right to your thoughts, feelings, and opinions, Jordan. So do I. And we can come together and have dialogue around that. But one would hope we could do that in an empathetic way.
Yeah.
So we're being kind in our conversations. We're being reminded that everyone does have challenges that they're experiencing that you know nothing about. I either say we're in a crisis, coming out of a crisis, or we know someone in a crisis.
Yeah.
And my own mentor is like, crisis is a hard word. I'm like, I'm not moving it to challenge. It's a crisis. We all know when we've had like serious dark challenges in our lives that we're dealing with, and no one knows what's going on. And a simple smile or an invitation to be on a show.
Stop.
Well, I mean it. That's kindness.
The kindness that you project when you say hello to someone, it just reminds them that we're all human.
Yes.
And I think when you talk about your opinions, my opinions, they both matter equally. It's the kindness that we share between each other to allow each other to have those thoughts and feelings.
Yes.
That is really important. And I think for me, looking at all the words that are associated with the letters in Pink Dreams, Inc., for me, I think kindness is the number one. But kindness really does affect everybody.
Yes.
And I think, and I love, that's why I literally singled it out, because I think kindness is a massive, massive one that is hugely part of Pink Dreams, Inc., especially being a part of that. I was going to say machine, but it's not the machine, but being a part of the play that I was when I've worked with Pink Dreams, Inc. in the past.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you.
No problem.
But here's where it comes from. That in order for you to be able to be kind to other people, you have to be kind to yourself. And that takes a lot of work.
Agreed 100%.
Right?
That's my work in progress.
We're all in works of progress.
We're only human, Jen.
Right, exactly. It's just that self-awareness of where we're at with things.
Yes. Jen, don't go anywhere.
Okay.
You don't go anywhere. We got lots more coming up after this little thing that happens.
This is By the Wayside, and we'll be right back.
And welcome back to this episode of By the Wayside. I'm still with Jen Ettinger, founder and CEO of Pink Dreams, Inc., not social media. I don't know why I said that.
Social PR.
Social PR, and PR as in public relations, holistic public relations. If you missed that, go press rewind, go back and find out why it's holistic. It's a massive part of what I find Pink Dreams, Inc. so enticing as a community group and company that does what it does. Fantastic.
Thank
fantastic.
you.
Jennifer. You are more than the CEO of Pink Dreams Inc. You are also a best-selling author. Your book talks about your rising above chronic fatigue syndrome. Why was it important to tell that story? And a second part to that, does it relate to you creating and starting Pink Dreams Inc.?
Okay, so we're going to break that down.
You don't get it. I don't ask the question. Wait till you get to it, and then I ask. No, you got to do it all in one spiel, all at once.
Okay, so the reason why it was important for me to share that story is Fit Your Style is my first company,
Yes.
Fit Your Style Inc. On that side of things, that was created because of my time being bedridden, because I was sick for a year with chronic fatigue syndrome in bed. That was the impetus to become a personal trainer, to look in holistic studies and values, holistic just being natural alternatives. And that became the foundation for Fit Your Style and my first company. I felt it was important to share that story and to write a book because I realized that there were so many women, but I have trained many men over the years, that had such confidence challenges.
Yeah.
They felt heavy in their mindset. They felt heavy, just fatigue and concern. And so I wanted to create a company and the book to talk about my challenges when I felt like I was in those dark periods of time and how I got out of them.
Yeah.
So when I take that holistic well-being, applies on Pink Dreams Inc. because holistic well-being is part of holistic leadership.
Yes.
So that is where that crossover came. So when I had the desire to create, because of feedback of people asking me to create do you do what you do in the US? Can you do it in Canada? And that was the impetus to create Pink Dreams, because people in Canada were asking me to do the same things I was doing in Los Angeles.
Interesting.
So from there, I knew, okay, I've got to bring in this holistic self over and these holistic leadership principles to create the identity of Pink Dreams.
The idea that it's very much almost like a phoenix. You find you might be at your lowest, but through the fighting to rise above, you end up creating something so positive.
Beautifully
that
said.
The idea, the negative mindset that some people kind of get stuck in their crisis, you really rose above and you walked the walk. You've done what Pink Dreams, like a lot of people, it's kind of, it's one of those things when you say something and it kind of expands the mind, and I can't seem to articulate what it means. But by taking a look back with chronic fatigue syndrome, I know it's a difficult path to walk. I don't know too much about it, but knowing that you were able to take a negative and turn it into this amazing positive is so inspiring. The book itself tells the story about, rising above, getting there to where you are, taking those chances, taking those leaps. It's just awesome to know that the time that you spent in I don't want to say crisis, because it's not my word to use, but the time that you spend in a negative time of your life, potential negative time of your life, really did create this positive, amazing thing. When you look at all the tenets of Pink Dreams Inc., every letter of Pink Dreams Inc. creates you, this bubbly personality. You literally are Pink Dreams Inc.
Thank you.
I
can share with you the defining
fascinating
moment.
Oh, I'd love to hear it. Yes.
So fast story. I was living in New York City, and I don't normally ever use this phrase, but I was living my best life.
Yeah.
I don't use that phrase ever.
Okay.
But in this case, I will share that. I fell in love with a Canadian. I came to Canada.
We're pretty adorable.
You all
Every
are.
Canadian, pretty
so
damn
good
adorable.
To me. Thank you, Canada, because you're so good to me. And wound up getting my dream job. And that's when, things went spiraling down and I became ill. And it was such a dark, lonely time. My husband was incredible, but I didn't have family here. I didn't have a lot of friends here. And to be bedridden all the time, living this like amazing life in New York City with all of these incredible experiences that I'm so fortunate to have had, to being in bed was just, I can't even put it into words how isolating it was.
Yeah.
I couldn't even look myself in the mirror anymore. Like I didn't know who that person was. And I remember, and I don't normally and wouldn't watch Oprah a lot.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with Oprah. She's amazing. It just wasn't my regular thing.
Yeah.
But I was watching Oprah in bed because I was sick, and Billy Blanks came on.
Billy Blanks.
From
That's the
Tybo.
Tybo. Yes.
And I was in awe of his energy. And I was awe how he wanted to be of service. And from that moment on, I went, you know what, Jennifer Ettinger, you have a choice. You're going to either stay in this illness and allow it to define you, or you're going to, I want what that gentleman has. I want some of that energy.
Yeah.
What a gift. I had my husband buy an old manual stair stepper from a woman who gave birth to like her third kid, and it was manual, $50. And I started doing 2 minutes a day.
Okay.
And I just kept building in my mind. And after a year, I was doing Taibo kickboxing, burning like 1,000 calories in an hour. And I completely, along with other holistic properties, changed my life. But it was that defining moment of what a powerful man, what a kind man, what beautiful energy. Look how healthy he is in so many different ways.
Yeah.
I need to find my way to that.
Did you ever meet him?
He, it's 6 degrees of separation. I didn't get to meet him, but through Facebook, he was aware of me and found out about me and
cool.
like comment on things. So I was like, yeah, yay,
Awesome.
Thank you, Billy.
Jen, wow, that's quite inspiring. Billy Blanks, that's pretty awesome. What's next for Pink Dreams Inc.? Not necessarily clients, but world domination, world goals, international flair. What's next?
Let's see, we're expanding our communities. So I'm continuing to look for creators and individuals that we can bring on that will align with projects. And then on the Fit Your Style side, which has like been reignited,
Ooh.
I just got certified in a mental well-being certification. It's the first in the world. Mm-hmm. That is for fitness professionals. That is all science and evidence based on how mindful movement, meditation. There are foods for post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, what to choose to eat, adult play.
All science-backed.
All science-backed.
Interesting.
And I'm super excited to start delving into that with clients.
Well, congratulations. That's really cool. First in the world. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's not an exclusive because I'd love it
if that was exclusive.
Oh, sweet. I did it. I finally did it. Jen. I'm going to do another costume change.
Okay.
I'm going to do another
I'm loving the pink, by the way.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Jen, I wanted to end this episode or your segment with lots of fun. So I scoured the internet to find 5 jokes that all related to the color pink.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you some jokes. You don't have to guess the punchline because the jokes, I'm not going to say are the best, but I laughed a couple times when I was here alone, rehearsing and practicing. So whether or not I think I'm hilarious, I don't know. Jen, are you ready for the first joke?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Buckle my seatbelt.
What do you get if you paint a pink pig mint green?
I have no idea.
A pigment of your imagination.
But I'm bump.
See, it's like dad jokes. They're pretty dang funny. Just for edification, Jen, you don't have to laugh. You could just call me stupid and move on.
That's just silly. It's silly. It's fun.
What did the Pink Panther say when he stepped on a bug? Dead ant. 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 There we go. There's some generational humor for you. Jen.
Yes.
What is Cookie Monster's favorite Pink Floyd song?
Don't know.
Comfortably nom 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 nom.
Oh boy.
But when you do the nom nom, his eyes gotta go nom 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 nom. Thank you. Thank you, Internet. This is great. Jen.
Yes.
Why do we dress baby boys in blue and baby girls in pink?
I don't know, Jordan. Why?
Because they can't dress themselves.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh boy, on that note.
It's very funny. Jen.
Well said.
Founder and CEO of Pink Dreams Inc., thank you very much for taking the time and coming to Wayside Comics and Cocktails. My eyes are watering. Coming to Wayside Comics and Cocktails and participating in an amazing interview. I appreciate it 100%.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Jen, you and you at home, don't flamingo anywhere. We've got lots left in this episode. Don't flamingo anywhere. And I'm at the 2000... Playing music here. This isn't working out very well at all. I'm in Halifax, Canada for the HAL-CON Sci-Fi and Fantasy Con here at the Halifax Convention Center. Let's get a shot of that. It's raining out. I didn't bring an umbrella, so everything's being held inside. It's 6 floors of amazing content that you're going to want to see and everything. I didn't write that down. And I have to tell you that if there is anything about costume changes that is absolutely crazy, it's that costume changes are quite exhausting. They're so tired that I'm going to end my show like this. In the plaid tartan, I don't know exactly what this is. You've seen the show before. You know that I have multiple versions of a plaid shirt. This is no surprise to anybody. I want to thank my guest, Jennifer Ettinger, of course. I want to thank Omar for being Omar, allowing me to record every episode of By the Wayside here at Wayside Comics and Cocktails in Newmarket, Ontario. If you are in the neighborhood, I encourage you to come down. I encourage you to speak to Omar Sayer, owner and purveyor of Wayside Comics and Cocktails, and ask him about what his newest recommend is. Get yourself a hot chocolate and just enjoy the atmosphere here at Wayside Comics and Cocktails. Also, bam. These are all the social media things that I would love for you to follow. Instagram, YouTube, that's the important one. Share, like, comment, like. Don't forget to send it up. Don't forget to send all of it off to your friends, because let's get those numbers up, baby. I am your host, Jordan Middlebrook. Of course, this has been a super fun episode of By the Wayside. I was going to say don't go anywhere, but this is literally the last the last section of the show. Sorry, somebody was walking on Main Street right there, and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm Jordan Middlebrook. I will also catch you by the wayside.